think that's why we saw the engagement from Maru. The second he saw that base, we saw that huge stem. He was like, I gotta go now. Like, you're taking that greedy of a beast. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let what happened to Innovation yesterday happen to me. I'm not going to let you get away with this base and get all your tech up. I'm not letting that happen. I'm going in right here, right now. And I think that's part of the reason why he ran up that ramp, because he was like, this is the moment. This is my one window to get in here and actually just do critical damage. All right, guys, the second map is loaded. We're jumping into it right now. It's Merry-Go-Round.
Up here in the top right in the red, the Terran player is up 1-0. It is Maru of Generic Green Wings.
There he is. And up to the top left in blue, it's Jim from Invictus Gaming. Taking a tough loss there, but the way he GG'd to me just says like, all right, let's move on. Let's not dwell on this. He didn't even stick around in the game. He just knew, okay, I just need to move on.
He had taken too much damage, and I hope it doesn't get to him. I wonder if he'll just be like, okay, I tried to, play a bit more economically, play a bit more standard. Let's start the aggression. I wonder if this is the game where he's like, okay, now to begin the cheese.
Yep. Well, on this map, we are spawned horizontally. Of course, it's a 3-player map, so the rust distance is going to be basically equidistant no matter which way you look at it in this equilateral triangle. Now on this map, we see a lot of proxies. I talked about this yesterday on the little high ground bumps that you could see in the middle of that triangle.
Mm-hmm.
They themselves kind of form their own little triforce in the middle of the map. But if you proxy a Stargate there, you can get pretty close to your opponent's base. It's a little bit tougher to scout because it's up on that high ground. And wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that from Jim in this game. He's sending a very, very early scout, in fact, out here to see what Maru's up to, but he's going the wrong way.
Yeah. He sent out a pretty early scout and a miss as well. So, he may just, on this map, want to identify where he is and then set up a proxy somewhere. It's decent timing here. He will put down that cybernetics core and then possibly that pylon right after. If he does want to go for that proxy, that is.
Yeah, he could just go right into this high ground right now. I've seen this a lot. Gonna go to the right side, which actually even makes me feel even more so we might see this. Let's see how he wants to put this probe. Okay, he's targeting a specific location. I think he's going to proxy an Oracle right next to Maru's base.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get it, and it's still in a pretty good spot to not get scouted.
By the way, Maru's going for a factory opening, so he's already changing it up quite significantly. No safe Reaper on this one. He's going straight into a completely different style, a very aggressive style. We've seen this build line up against proxy oracles several times recently, and it can be really strong if you keep a Widow Mine at home and you just defend that oracle. Sometimes you don't have enough units while you're attacking the oracle. There's too much damage. He's actually not proxying a pylon at all, so it looks like this was a misread here by Wolf. And this probe's going to come up here and just do a delayed scout. We'll get shut down. Interesting that he just changes his mind. Either that or just wants to be a
maybe
delayed
he was just
scout.
hiding it, for a little bit. Maybe waiting for the Marines to push out a bit. I mean, it's still a little bit too early for that. And this SUV is actually going to get to see it, that the Nexus is coming down over here for Jim. So Maru definitely ahead in terms of scouting, as Jim has no idea what's going on in the base of Maru.
Yeah, he had his mothership core up on the high ground expecting potentially a Reaper. So the SUV actually got to see this without Jim seeing the SUV. So it's just Maru sees this, but Jim doesn't know that Maru knows, which is just an interesting point of missing information. And robotics is coming up, so Jim just going to play it a little more straight up today than I expect from him.
Yeah, maybe this is the new Jim, man.
Could be.
But we're going to have to see how he handles this Widow Mine drop, because we've seen a lot of, top-level Protosses really struggle with this kind of build before. So this is kind of going to be a test here for Jim. Maru just going to do a pretty standard, aggressive build here.
Now, with this SCV, I think he's going to bunker the natural. We've seen this a lot in this matchup. I want to say TY, the first person to do this in like 2014 consistently. Just bunker the natural while he does his push, sometimes with an elevator. And then while he draws the entire army into the main base, the bunker finishes, and then he can just boost it back down to the natural and drop it in that bunker. Could just use this SCV for tanking, but a bunker would be ideal. If he forces the Nexus Cannon at the natural, then obviously he can't bunker, but it means the Hellions and the Widowmine are going to have a better time here in the main base.
Yep, he's going to send them in at the exact same time. So here goes the bunker right down. Maybe he'll get a reaction over there, but here we go. The Hellions are in the main base with that Widowmine in the back here, it seems like, for support.
Oh!
Does get a very nice shot there on 4 probes. Another probe does go down as well, and he just backs off the natural as well. So
not only did he get those probes, but he hit all those stalkers as well, getting them all knocked out of their shields. And this is just, that was a great hit there. Jim could not be happy about the results of this one.
yeah, and it seems like he wants to put on the pressure once again, loading up everything but 1 Marine into that medevac once again. He did lose the Widowmine, as Jim, with his ability, does get that early detection in the observer, so he was able to clean it up.
Yeah, well, he looks like he wants to do a follow-up Immortal attack, perhaps, but in order to do this, he's going to have to shut down the drops. He's going to have to kill them. If he can kill the drops, or at least, finish them off and do a trade with them, then he doesn't have to worry about counter drops, so he can actually move across the map. But if he doesn't kill the dropships, whenever he moves out, Maru's just going to keep harassing him. And he doesn't have infinity energy on that mothership core, so he can't just keep relying on Nexus cannons to defend.
Yeah, he's going to do the same thing here, come in at the same time at the natural in the main. It does seem like Jim is ready. He's even got that observer with the army there in the main. But the Widowmines are here actually at the natural where the observer is not. So here we go. He's going to drop it out. 2 Widowmines coming down right away, as well as some Marines. He's not moving his probes here at all, getting 7 kills. And now the Marines trying to do some follow-up damage, dropping in the main as well.
Well, I mean, that was just unfortunate they didn't have that detection there. He didn't split his probe, so he targeted the medevac instead of the Widowmine. He could have actually killed that first Widowmine had he targeted it instead. And now he finally has his second observer out. The Immortals were scouted, as far as I can tell, as well. Now he's adding the rest of the gates, and this is going to be that desperation follow-up. 4 gateways, Immortals, 4 pylons already up. Maru needs to realize what's happening. Okay, now, if he hadn't seen the Immortals before, he definitely knows now. He needs to get more bunkers up.
Yeah, I mean, and what you're seeing right there is pretty much the entirety of his army.
It's tiny. This is the scary part. If you clean up the drops.
And no stem.
Yeah.
It's on the way right now. He's only got 1 bunker. He's making a missile turret.
I don't know if Maru's really taking this as seriously as he needs to be. This is a ton of stalkers here. He has in this army 9 stalkers with 2 Immortals. That's a ton of burst damage on a bunker, plus the Zealots he's got at the front to tank. The more time goes by, the more medevacs that Maru can get here. Good control here by Jim, putting those Zealots at the front. Guardian Shield goes up, and that bunker's going to fall in no time. Boom, 2 shots to take that out. Guardian Shield, making sure all of his units have that extra armor. Takes out the medevac as well. Yeah, boom, there's that force field on the ramp as well, making no retreat possible. And this could actually just end Maru here. Stim is getting closer to being finished, but he's losing a lot of workers. And if he can't kill those Immortals, they're really the backbone of Jim's army here.
Wow, unbelievable timing on this push. Just coming in here before Stim was able to finish. He kind of identified the fact that with the aggressiveness that Maru was giving, he would be a little bit late on those upgrades here for the infantry units. So he just went for it, man, and it kind of worked. We see Maru, he's having to lift that CC from the natural and even lose 29 SCVs right now. He's kind of held it off for now, but this is doing irreparable damage.
Exactly. Very well said. Cannot be repaired, this damage. And he does target all the Immortals down, and I feel like he could have a few more Zealots in this comp. Maru's micro is actually pretty intense. We've seen him actually hold crazier builds than this before, but I think just too much damage done. A Reaper comes out here as well. Good micro by Maru, but eventually he's going to run out of space. He's got like no SCVs left, and this should seal the deal here and bring us to a 1-1 score. GG. Maru, man, you see 2 Immortals walking across the map. You got to get those bunkers up on the high ground. This is an Invictus Gaming pro gamer from China. You think he's not going to all in you after you do that? Are you not studying, Maru? This is Jim we're talking about here. This guy practices what Max said.
Yeah, Maru definitely misreading something there. Putting down the missile turret. Maybe he thought, he just didn't have enough units, Jim, and he's like, he must have some kind of weird proxy. Maybe he was actually like overreacting for something that wasn't true and just going for something that he didn't need, wasting minerals and not getting the bunkers down. And he even spotted it out on the map with like an SCV or like a Marine or something, but he still didn't really react.
I thought he saw the Immortals with his drop, but I guess he didn't.
I think Jim actually hid those. He kept them in like the middle of his base, but he only fought the drops with his stalkers.